A good evening to you on the business desk at this hour. The business community, along with investors, have raised jitters ahead of the elections next month. The Northwest University Business Schools Policy Uncertainty Index has found that concern is mounting over the economic direction of the country and how it will take shape after the 2024 polls. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo has the details.
Implementing reforms that drive economic growth is not a sprint but a marathon. However, some economists and academics say that in South Africa there is a sense of urgency for policy reform, especially as the country heads to the national elections, which are forecast to be hotly contested.
If we have the emergence of a larger degree of coalition government, we will want to see that there will be good politics that will guarantee the good economics that we need after the election.
The country does not have a money problem to get working policies implemented, says RMB Head of Research and Chief Economist Isa Mhlanga. He outlines that the nation's tax revenue relative to the size of the economy has been at elevated levels since the 1960s.
We have an inability to control spending, but even when we spend, we also have an inability to improve the quality of that spending, which means for every 1 rand that we spend, we don't actually get the boost that we should get from the economy.
Mhlanga adds that the government must work on sustainable reforms to tackle debt that takes away chunks of growth and be more conscious of spending. But this requires some tough decisions to be made to deal with another big issue, corruption.
The reforms that make sure that there are no leakages, but also the quality of that spending does not end up in increased imports, which essentially exports jobs from the economy, but it boosts the productivity of the South African economy in a way that can then boost economic growth overall.
Corruption is a happy crime where everyone involved is supposed to walk away with a smile, making it difficult to detect, according to Professor Jan van Romsburg. He says this is where reforms to improve information sharing comes in.
It feels like that we protect more criminals than the man on the street. And there needs to be a point where you say, well, what is the bigger priority? My personal information or the fight against corruption?
He references the Scorpions as the kind of collaborative effort needed to ensure the economy avoids turmoil after the 2024 elections.
Where you have your investigators, financial, your legal guys, all grouping together with the sharing of information. That's where the magic lies. If you can't have basic type investigations for specialized type criminality that happen, you need clever guys to catch the clever crooks.
The experts say that there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Reform initiatives are already evident in key policy moves in areas such as energy, logistics and transport. Managing the country's debt and spending and improving information sharing are highlighted as steps needed to build economic resilience regardless of the election outcomes. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Johannesburg.